How about this for a spotless factory? Surely anybody would be happy to work in a tidy, well-organized workplace like this. But such a place is the result not just of hoping for improvement, but of everyone in the factory getting together and working at it step by step with a clear purpose in mind. In this section of the video, we will take a look at step 2 of the 5S program, organizing, and show how it plays a vital role in the general improvement of any factory environment. The basic point of workplace organization is to fix the layout of tools and equipment so that everything is readily available just when it is needed. In step 1, we cleared up. Now we have to sort out storage. Exactly what, where, and how many. One of the most common ways of wasting time and effort is the process of searching for something we want on badly organized shelves. This really is a pointless waste of energy, especially when we are hurrying to meet a deadline. It leads to frustration and stress and a great decline in both efficiency and productivity. So what practical steps can we take to remove this problem? Here is the basic procedure for organizing. First, it is necessary to analyze the present situation before deciding on the appropriate storage place. Then a storage method must be fixed. The final step is to make sure that all storage rules are strictly kept at all times and by everybody involved. This is the way to efficiency. Many factories nowadays share the same problem, the necessity to produce a large number of different items in small quantities. This involves many logistical problems, and without complete job efficiency, the company can easily get into trouble. One assembly plant carefully analyzed the efficiency movement of parts, jigs and tools within the factory every day. This chart shows the movement of parts, jigs and tools in terms of number of times per day and distance carried. As you can see, the situation varied a lot. The total daily distance was about 180 kilometers. The conclusion of this analysis was that storing the most regularly used items within 40 to 60 centimeters of the workplace could lead to a tremendous improvement in efficiency. More detailed analysis can be done by classifying the work involved like this. There are 5 basic activities: making sure of the name of the item, going to get it, searching for it, taking it out, and carrying it back. If we then further divide these points, the real problems that are wasting time become very clear. For example, with activity 2, we might discover that the storage place is not clear, it is too far away, items are spread over a large area, or the same process is repeated many times every day. There are 3 basic rules for the storage place. The first one is to get rid of unnecessary items. Ask yourself some questions. Can we decrease the stock? Can we stick to a principle of only using one of each item? The second rule is to decide a proper storage layout and detailed classification system. In other words, there should be definite types of item and a strict policy everyone knows about. The third, and often overlooked rule, is the standardization of names. It may turn out that everyone is referring to the same item by a different name, which can only lead to mistakes and confusion. The next thing is to decide how to store items. Here's an example of a clever idea somebody came up with. When you insert the card, a lamp goes on to show where the item you want is stored. No mistakes, no wasted time. It's important to remember that it is very easy to mix up similar items, especially when you're in a hurry, which is not only inefficient, it can even be dangerous. Here are the 3 basic points for fixing the storage method. The first thing is to discuss in detail the most functional method, which will lead to complete avoidance of waste in terms of quality, safety, and efficiency. This includes being very careful about similar names, numbers, and shapes. The second point is really important. It is essential to display names and numbers clearly and indicate where the items are stored. This must be done in a way that anyone can easily understand. There are, of course, many ways of doing this, and the most suitable has to be found for your particular requirements. One good idea is to make the name or number of the item and the place it is stored into a set. For example, the number of the item is also the number of the shelf on which the item is stored. We will look at this in detail in the next video. The third point is to find ways to improve the process of taking out and storing. There are 2 different ways of grouping items for storage. By function, in other words, all similar tools stored together, or in sets for a particular job, or for a particular part of the production line. It is necessary to decide which way is suitable for your own requirements. One method of storage is to use trays like this for each set, that can be easily loaded straight onto a trolley, even if they are heavy. Here we see some examples of toolkits for specific work processes. None of the points we've already dealt with will mean anything if the storage rules are not kept at all times. If, for example, a particular tool is missing, it's no good at all if it is not clear whether it is simply being used by someone else and has not been returned yet, or is actually lost. Fixing the rules and sticking to them avoids a lot of problems, especially when there is a need for immediate action. Here are the 3 main points for sticking to the rules. The first point is to ensure that there is daily control of items and to avoid stock shortages. If there is a stock shortage, there should be an indication that orders have already been made. To avoid this, it is better to decide minimum necessary stock levels so that there will never be a shortage. If an item has simply not yet been returned, there should be an indication of who is using the item and when it will be returned. If each storage place is in the shape of the item, or if there is a clear indication as to how many items should be available, then it will be obvious when some item is actually missing. The second point is to improve general procedures for getting tools quickly and efficiently. In the case of replacement parts in particular, there may be a huge variety of types and numbers, and the use of detailed order documents may be the best way to avoid mistakes. Tools which are in constant use can be classified as regular items and stored at the side of the production line. The third point is to make sure that there is proper training in all the procedures that have been fixed. This graph shows the results of a kind of efficiency game played in one factory. Everyone in the workplace was carefully timed to see how long it took to find, take out, and return 6 items. As the game was repeated, a significant improvement could be seen in the time taken to complete the process. Now a few checkpoints for your workplace. Check 1. Are the positions of main corridors, aisles and storage places clearly marked? Check 2. Are tools divided into specialized use and regular items? Check 3. Are pallets always stacked to the proper height? Check 4. Is anything stored around fire extinguishers? Check 5. Does the floor have any depressions, protrusions, cracks or obstacles? An untidy, disorganized workplace means waste of time, waste of effort and general inefficiency. But a careful application of all these points about organization can ensure that anybody can quickly find anything at any time and return it just as quickly. Time now to move on to step 3 of the 5S program. The third of the 5 S's may sound simple enough: cleaning. But in practice, step 3 involves many activities. By cleaning, we basically mean removing everything from the workplace that shouldn't really be there and maintaining everything in the best possible condition by constant checking and constant care. The essence of cleaning is careful checking. The first point to stress is that it is impossible to be too clean. Accumulations of dust or oil or fine metal shavings or dirt of any kind can easily lead to faulty machines, inferior products, loss of efficiency, and even accidents. A careful look around any factory will reveal all kinds of dirt problems, all of which can be eliminated only by careful consideration, appropriate cleaning procedures, and prevention measures. Let's take a look first at a factory which had major cleaning problems. You will remember that at the beginning of Volume 1, we took a brief look at a pump factory which had to clear up completely. Here is another factory with similar problems. On this production line, automobile vibration damping sheets are turned out using asphalt. The extensive use of powder in the process means that the whole working environment quickly gets really dirty. The company decided to tackle the problem in a big way, starting with the main line as a test case. This major cleaning operation produced huge amounts of dirt and dust from the roof beams and above the ducts. Far more than anyone had expected.
Our main problem was the nature of the raw materials used in the production process. Not only was there a tremendous amount of dust, we also had a lot of leakage and spillage as well. We decided we should try and start with a clean slate, so to speak. That meant a full-scale cleaning operation. The first thing to do was to get everyone on the shop floor interested in cleaning the place up and getting involved in the actual cleaning process. We couldn't have done it without the full cooperation of all the workers. The film gives you some idea of the scale of the operation and the amount of dirt we had to remove. Over 1 ton just from the main production line alone.
A great deal of preparation was necessary, including finding suitable equipment and also clothes for everyone involved.
At first, we were going to use air jets to remove the dirt. But when we realized the scale of the problem, it looked as though we would create mountains of dust in the factory. So we switched to heavy-duty vacuum cleaners, which worked very well. We had many problems finding the right protective clothing, too. Obviously, we were going to get covered in dust. So we started out wearing overalls, raincoats, and protective goggles. But after 10 minutes or so, it was like a sauna inside the raincoats. In the end, we decided to use overalls only.
This is the cleaning strategy adopted in this case. The procedure was very effective. In fact, the results were so positive It was later decided to clean the whole factory in the same way.
It certainly wasn't an easy job to do, but when we saw just how much dirt there was, we realized that it had been the right thing to do. Our main challenge now is to keep the machines as clean as we can. It's really difficult to avoid the same problems happening again. We can only really do that by tracking down where the dirt comes from in each case.
Cleaning activities can be roughly divided into 3 separate stages. The first involves the whole factory and major cleaning operations of the type we've just seen. It also means searching for dirt sources. The second stage is dealing with individual workplaces and particular machines. The third stage is to get down to details and devise ways of cleaning and checking machines, jigs and tools to prevent the occurrence of defects. We call this Equipment 5S. We've already examined major cleaning operations. Let's take a close look now at the second and third stages. A frequent problem is the question of who takes responsibility for equipment used by many people. In practice, nobody does. This is often true of particular areas of the shop floor as well. This means that such things or places rapidly become dirty. Let's look at procedures for cleaning the workplace. The best way to clarify cleaning responsibilities is to make a chart which indicates the role every person should take. The biggest problem here is to indicate precisely the demarcation lines and ensure there are no blank areas where no one takes responsibility. Although this is a question of individual responsibilities, it is necessary to stress that everyone should help other members of the team as necessary. The point here is that regular and systematic cleaning of particular areas and equipment is likely to indicate problem spots and perhaps indicate reasons for inferior products or minor stoppages. Cleaning can lead to real improvements. The third step is to look for ways to speed up the whole cleaning process by improving cleaning techniques and equipment, and also thinking of how to deal with places that are difficult to clean. Here is the group we saw before, working up some team spirit for a 5-minute spell of intense 5S activities. In this factory, they make it a rule to do this every day at a fixed time. A concerted group effort like this can actually achieve a lot in a short time and makes everyone think about product quality and safety. One of the interesting results of regular concentrated cleaning is just how many defects or minor trouble points emerge. It is quite possible to find dozens of these in one workplace. For example, dirt or objects stuck on machines, shortage of oil, something loose or improperly fixed, broken parts, and so on. And the reaction to such things is often, why didn't I notice this before? I thought this machine was safe. Here is the procedure for Equipment 5S. First, you have to choose the object and analyze the problem or problems. Then, by full cleaning and checking operations, it should be possible to identify defects and minor trouble points. By filling in a detailed check sheet and discussing and analysing the reasons for the problems, it will then be possible to plan appropriate action and implement it. Whatever the problem, it is important to discuss it with other staff members and management-level colleagues. Proper implementation needs clear and systematic presentation from the beginning. Now let's take a look at a factory which has implemented many improvements in an attempt to keep the workplace clean. This is a company producing car mufflers, car parts, and various steel products. Many problems are caused by the shower of sparks during welding. Electric lines can melt, products can be damaged, and a considerable amount of ash is generated by each machine, as you can see. To restrict the shower of sparks, a special cover was created after a great deal of discussion. After several failures, such an effective improvement becomes a kind of prototype model which may then be reproduced throughout the factory. Another improvement was this small spark cap, which turned out to be extremely successful.
Before we started using this little cap, we had all kinds of problems at work. I had burns all over my face and neck, but now the whole place has changed. It's become a really pleasant place to work.
The spark cap is made of silicon. When it was decided that something should be done about the sparks, there were several requirements to be met. It had to be heat-proof, strong, and soft, so that it wouldn't damage the machine or the product. In this company, innovations are the result of examining the source of problem areas and considering possible solutions with great care. This is a vital part of the whole cleaning process. Now a few checkpoints for your workplace. Check 1. Look carefully at the floor, aisles and around machines. How much oil, dirt, dust and metal shavings can you find? Check 2. Are any parts of the machines dirty with oil or metal fragments? Check 3. Are any supply lines or pipes oily, dirty or hard? Check 4. Are oil outlets clogged with dirt? Check 5. Are light bulbs, reflectors or shades dirty? The cleanliness of any workplace is very much a barometer of the attitudes of the people who work in it. Cleaning and polishing, and the constant checking that goes with them, can really focus attention on the little problems that can have such a big effect on the whole company in the long run. Now let's move on to Volume 3 for the final 2 steps.